I don't know how much you guys have, like, planned. I've mainly got one thing. It's quite pessimistic, but at the same time, I kind of hope it happens.
Hey everyone, Felix from Nintendo Life here, and today we are here to predict Nintendo's 2024, and I'm joined by the wonderful Alex and Sion.
Wow, oh, it's both of us.
We're fused together.
We're done.
Oh, he's streamlined the
I
intro.
live in the UK now.
What? Yes, let's go. That would be awesome to have you closer by.
The plus.
Anyway, this is looking to be quite of a weird year for Nintendo, at least with the information we have right now. Currently, we only have one full-fledged new Nintendo game, which is Princess Peach Showtime, and everything else is remakes, remasters, another code, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So we don't really know what's going on, and we're just here to predict what on earth is going to happen. Will we see the Switch 2? What games could we perhaps encounter? Well, it's time to talk all about it. Who wants to go first?
Well, I've got something. It's not probably what some people want to be hearing, but I imagine it's what some people are fearing. My prediction for 2024 is very simple, very obvious. I don't think we're going to get a new console announcement. I think it's going to be another year of Switch. Genuinely. And it's not just because I said that in 2023 and it turned out to be right.
No.
Well, I mean, keep the ball rolling at this point, right?
Well, the thing is that Nintendo were doing so well with the Switch, and there's, sort of, I'm not saying it won't happen this year. I just don't think it will. They've got not a lot on the books just yet, but you could make the argument at the start of almost every year, at least, in terms of the Switch, certainly every more recent year. And so I think we're just going to be seeing more and more just slowly throughout the year. I mean, there's still Metroid Prime 4 is supposedly still in development. I don't know whether that's coming this year, whether it's going to come out on the next system or what, but this game was announced in 2017. It is getting beyond parody at this point. It's a little bit Duke Nukem Forever right now.
So I don't know if it's because I don't want it to happen, but I genuinely believe that we are going to see new hardware this year. I have felt it, last year was like, oh yeah, it could happen. But this year, I feel certain that we are getting something new. And that is just, looking at the schedule. I know we'll get probably a Direct in February and we'll see some releases. But I think if a Direct happens, they're not going to release a lot of new stuff. And they're going to save it for, I don't know, sometime in summer or September for like the real showcase. And then they'll have the console ready for the Christmas season with Mario Kart 9, Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake, and Metroid Prime 4. Wow.
Remake? Oh my God. Sorry, my brain shut down. What did you say after Ocarina of Time Remake?
Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, yes, of course. Are those all launch titles, by the way? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they're starting out strong. They have the resources for it, and
Okay,
I
I
can
need to
definitely
go
see
throw up. Hold on.
In a way, I know this sounds rough, but in a way, I kind of hope that they don't. I mean, I'm always up for new hardware, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, in a way, I think I've become so acclimatized to the Switch. The idea that it could be something different kind of slightly freaks me out from a professional point of view. It does excite me at the same time, but the backbone of this channel has been the Switch, and so for something to change so radically, even though it'd only, more than likely just be for the better, let's just say up and burnt with the Wii U. And I don't want to be burnt again.
It is interesting because there's so many, creators who have built, their channels around the Switch and its success. And if Nintendo were to do something completely different, where do we all stand? If it's not a success, that will affect a lot of things. But Sion, maybe you have some less pessimistic predictions?
So I do think, at this point, looking at data, this is the longest we've ever gone. Please, someone correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, or you guys can, but I believe this is the longest we've ever gone without a new system. Usually it's like in between like 5 and 6 years between like the Super Nintendo and the N64, the N64 and the GameCube, and so forth. And so this is, it's very strange that we're, in March, right, it'll be 8 years that the Switch has been out now, which I originally thought it was 7, so it's even crazier.
That is just dumb. That is so long.
Yeah. No, it's 7. It'll be 7.
It'll be going into
sorry,
its 8th year.
Correct. Yep, that's what I mean.
That's what you meant. That's what you meant.
Yep, that's what I meant. I think it would be smart and for Nintendo to release a Switch 2 or a Switch successor. What if it's just the Switch S? Oh my gosh, this year. But also maybe Alex is right. Maybe instead are we going to get a price drop? Because we still don't have, the Switch has been selling for the same exact price ever since it launched. The OLED or the OLED is more expensive. And sure, you can get it on a deal, like if you shop around. And Nintendo just released the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Switch OLED, which I feel like this is one of the first times that they've
the Switch, at least in Denmark, has dropped in price since it originally got released.
Oh, has it really?
Yeah, I think it has in the UK as well. Only by like 20 quid or something.
It's not a lot, but I remember it being really pricey, and now it's not as pricey, but still pricey.
Yeah.
Like brand new, like retail MSRP?
Brand new retail.
Yeah. I mean, it may be that the RRP is the same, but everybody's selling it at a reduced price. I don't know, but the Switch definitely isn't the same price as it was.
Okay, well, for my American brain and American audience, but you're right though. I'm only living in one part of the world, so. But yeah, I could see like a widespread price drop happening just to kind of like combat that. But like you said earlier, Felix, as well, this is a weird year where right now, I mean, we haven't had a Nintendo Direct in a while, but right now the only titles that we know that are coming out this year are 5 of them. Was it 5 of them are remakes? I think, or no, 4 of them are basically remakes out of the 5.
Yeah, we have like Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and then Paper Mario 1000 Year Door.
Yeah, Paper Mario,
Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
So that's very end of the year. But on a positive note, I do want to say that if the Switch 2 happens this year, I think it's just going to be a safe and standard upgrade where it's better hardware. Maybe because of that better hardware, they can have some of those fun applications baked into the home menu, and maybe we'll get like revised Joy-Con that are compatible with the old Switch. But I think Nintendo is going to give us little reasons to want to buy a Switch 2, but the hardware itself will be the beefier, the reason to upgrade. One worry that I do have for the Switch 2 if it launches this year is that Nintendo will try to make things backwards compatible and forwards compatible, where like I know Breath of the Wild 3 isn't a thing right now, but let's say Breath of the Wild 3 comes out. Maybe someday Nintendo will try to make it compatible with Switch 1 and Switch 2, and I think that's where I freak out and worry, is that we're going to get a game that runs like garbage on the base Switch 1, and it runs well on Switch 2, but it doesn't run as well as it could if it were designed just for the Switch 2
If I were Nintendo, I would just release for the new console, because that would be a giant incentive to actually upgrade, because you can't play the new games if you don't get the new console. And Nintendo hasn't really...
but that install base and the software is where they make money.
True.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
That giant installed base would want to play a lot of the new games, especially if it's just, a more powerful version of what they already have, but now with the new Mario Kart, with the new, but I can also definitely see your worry.
New Mario Kart, new Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. I forgot about that. You're right, guys. Sorry.
No, and
I think it's actually not as common. A lot of people sort of... I think we've seen it with things like the PS5, certainly, where they're just releasing everything for the PS4, with a few exceptions now at long last. But I don't think Nintendo would necessarily go down that route. They've done it a few times with things like Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild, obviously they've done it, but that's been at the end of a system's life with a game that was designed for the older system, and they basically just release a port for the new system, they're the exception rather than the rule. The only other instance I can think of is Sushi Striker, where there was a 3DS and a Switch version, and maybe a couple of other things. But that's a much smaller game. It's not harnessing the power of the Switch. I don't think that's too much of a concern for me. Nintendo tend to want to move on. They always pretend they don't want to, but they said that the Switch wasn't replacing the Wii U, and look what happened, Did
they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did. Just like just in case somehow it does worse.
Just in case. But one area, and this is I know I said I don't think new hardware's coming in 2024, and I stand by that. Although the more I talk about it, the more I think actually I would like new hardware. I'm a complicated man with dynamic emotions.
Life is complicated.
But I do think one area where Nintendo may want to wet their beak is a sort of a dedicated hardware for VR. The Switch 2 will have a screen that will probably be... But when I say VR, I mean VR in the sense of like how the Game Boy was portable gaming, like stripped
like
back,
the Switch,
but cheap. Yeah, no, but like stripped back, cheap, affordable, reliable. So it's not going to be, sort of, the Switch isn't going to have like a 4K screen on it or anything. Or it's going to have, like individual eyes or, whatever. It's going to be a simple system, a bit like the Switch, but maybe with,
like
a high resolution like that. Maybe not cardboard. But the Joy-Con already kind of lend themselves to the idea of VR. It would need some hardware revision in order to get like real tracking going on, but I don't think that's that impossible. You get Joy-Con 2 that work with VR, and it just works out of the box. You put it on your head. Maybe it comes with a cardboard headset, or you can buy a plastic one for an additional charge. And hey, you've got VR just out of the box, and it's simple, it's basic. But that would be interesting. I don't know if they're going to go in that direction. I'm not predicting they will. I just think it's an interesting, something interesting to ponder.
On my list, actually, I did have the idea of like Nintendo implementing an IR sensor in the dock of the Switch 2, so that way we could have like pointer controls for shooters and for like stuff like Pikmin
in the dock
and
itself,
Metroid
that's
Prime
a brilliant
4.
idea.
Yeah, like so then it's somehow
then the dock has to be accessible at all times, which for many people it's not. And it has to be facing forward.
True. But it's still a fun idea. I had not thought of implementing it in that way.
It's a fun idea. I just think it's old technology that Nintendo potentially wants to move away from. Because then it also wouldn't work. It wouldn't work when you were handheld.
But what if the Switch itself has a sensor inside of it? How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Think about that.
I hate the fact that it's called the sensor bar. It's two infrared LEDs. It's not a sensor. It doesn't sense anything. It just points light out, and the Wii remote goes.
I mean, is it? It could be the IR sensor bar.
It is. Anyway, it doesn't do any sensing. I'm angry.
I really like your idea with VR because it adds to that. The Switch. It can switch to different ways of playing, and that is one area that they could. I know a lot of people have talked about. But what if there's like new ways it can switch into? At least that's what I've been thinking, like, maybe that's what they're going to do. And VR seems like it would help a lot of people to give it a try, because VR is, in my opinion...
VR is incredibly niche.
Yeah,
like some people think, no, it's nearly mainstream, or some people think it genuinely is mainstream. It's really not. It is so supremely niche. The technology that you have to buy, the investment you have to make for what is essentially a handful of games overall, there's more than ever, don't get me wrong, but realistically, compared to any other platform, VR has basically no support. And I think that's kind of a shame. It's not my favorite thing. I like VR, but at the same time, it seems like an avenue that Nintendo could potentially go down.
Definitely. It's a way to mainstream VR a bit more, because people are buying it for the Switch.
Yeah.
But, you can also play it in VR if you want to. And then that way, a lot of people will give it a go. So good idea.
And the thing is they don't have to commit to it either. If they don't, it's sort of, but it still does all the normal things a console does.
Just like that weird sensor on the right Joy-Con, like the I don't know.
The IR sensor.
Yeah,
we're back with the infrared. Yeah. Thing is, that actually is an infrared camera.
Yeah, but, they didn't really use it in much. It was just
they really didn't.
Well, as far as games go,
let's talk games.
I'm gonna kick this off, because last year I made a prediction that Persona, and I'm very proud of this. I'm very happy that it happened, because I love this series a lot and I'm gonna play it day one. But last year I made a prediction that Persona 3, the reason that Portable came out was because that they were actually working on a Persona 3 remake behind closed doors. That was kind of rumored. I don't think it was rumored at the point that I made that prediction though. So whatever, yay. But so they did announce that Persona 3 Reload was happening, but unfortunately as of right now it's not coming to Switch. But if we do get a Switch successor later this year, I could see Persona 3 Reload being a day one launch edition, or like launch title and maybe it comes with like a skin of the main character of Tokyo Mirage Sessions or something like that. I do think Persona 3 Reload will come to Switch eventually, and I think they just are waiting for something to do it with.
The Switch 2.
What games are on your guys' brains?
So, I would really like to see Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on the Switch.
Finally.
I mean, it is damned overdue by now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been like rumored for ages. I feel like everyone says, that dual pack, and it would just be so nice to have. At least I would just love to play Wind Waker. Just let me play it because I don't have the Wii U. And I don't have the GameCube. I have literally not those consoles, so let me play Wind Waker. Come on, man.
What's weird, because like Nintendo for a long time, it seemed like was releasing something Zelda related every year. Like they had Link's Awakening remake, they had Cadence of Hyrule, they had the Game & Watch, the mainline games, and then I think it was 2022 they went without releasing anything Zelda. So I would say like, oh yeah, 2024 will be the year, because they got to put something out this year, but they broke the curse. So there's I think this year makes sense, but next year also makes sense. So, or maybe we'll get Ocarina of Time remake. I don't know. I'm gonna keep bringing that up.
The really irritating thing with predicting Nintendo's future, just any time, is they just do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating to make these videos at times.
But it's also what makes it fun, because we can come with the most outlandish predictions, and maybe, just maybe, they will become true.
I've got an outlandish one, although it's not that outlandish, actually. I think there's genuine legs in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is slightly more hopeful than anything, I think. A new Pokemon Legends game.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna say Pokemon Legends Kyurem.
Whoa.
Is that how it's pronounced? I've never actually said it out loud, I don't think. Basically, Pokemon, like Unova, obviously. And I think, sort of there's been a lot of sort of like nostalgia for Black and White recently. And I think, sort of obviously also the DLC in Scarlet and Violet was all based in Unova, or at least the second one was. So I think, sort of they're kind of, tickling the flames, stoking the embers, disappointing the cat. That's not an expression. None of them are.
Oh, yeah, Kyurem was
I've lost
the
my train of thought, yeah.
Kyurem was the fusion, almost like, so to speak, of like Reshiram and Zekrom, right? Because I never played
like
Black
that,
and White
yeah.
too.
It was like it's in Black and White, like a broken form or something. I never actually completed Black and White because that's when I fell off Pokemon for a while. But I do have Pokemon White, I think. Or is it Black? I don't know. I've never completed it though. I remember buying it from eBay once and it was a fake one, and I complained at them, and then they gave me my money back.
I would like to see that happen. Like, where do you think Legends? It'd be cool if Legends came out and it like replaced the main line, like just for a year, and gave them 3 years.
No, just replace the main.
Well, of course. I mean, we would love that, but I could see that like being their toy line, maybe what they base some things on the TV show off of, the TCG. And I mean, the TCG already got based enough. Like, it had a few sets that were based on Legends. So like maybe they just full send it. I would love to see that. That'd be really nice.
And also,
the thing is,
Pokemon Legends Arceus is almost 2 years, or like in a couple of like weeks.
It's a couple of days or something, I think, isn't it? Because it was like the
28th, I think.
Something like that, yeah. Either way, I miss that game, sort of and I've said this before, but you play Scarlet and Violet, go back and play Legends and you can see. The thing is that it's still, don't get me wrong, Legends isn't a perfect game, but it's just actually got some genuinely interesting ideas. I'm not going to go into it right now, but mechanically, it's evolved the genre,
Yeah.
Anyway, what about 2024, guys? Are we going to finally get Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival 2?
I would just love to see something Animal Crossing, because, I just want that feeling again.
It's been a while.
Oh no!
Since we had an Animal Crossing game.
My favorite song.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. Why do we not have an Animal Crossing theme park yet? Why is Donkey Kong getting one? I know I don't.
Why is Donkey Kong not getting any new games? Come on, man.
Oh yeah, that's been rumored as well, hasn't it? New Donkey Kong games and the like.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that has legs personally.
It has
so
4.
difficult to know. Oh, Donkey Kong has arms. not legs.
Diddy Kong's there, so they've got.
Diddy Kong's got arms as well.
Yeah, but together they have 4.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you.
Their legs are more like arms than our legs are like arms. So really, they've got 4 arms.
Donkey
4
Kong in
arms.
arms too?
Hell yeah.
Playable
That would be
character?
awful.
It's only Donkey Kong. Arms, Donkey Kong
It's just
Edition.
Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Jungle Reach.
What about ew, put it away. What about Metroid Prime 2 Echoes HD, Alex and Felix? Huh? Now that you guys
Ooh,
are
yeah.
That would be nice. The first one was very nice. I just want to play the other 2 now. In nice.
Shadow
remastered.
Drop?
Stick that on
once
the,
again?
on the blackboard. Shadow drop it now. Do it, Nintendo.
Hey
The
guys,
one thing that
have
I-
you seen Twitter? They just shadow dropped Metroid. Whoa!
Wait, what?
I'm kidding. I was just pretending.
God,
they shadow-
Felix. God, my heart.
I saw right through that, and I was with the best will in the world. I'm amazed Xeon fell for it.
I'm so happy you did.
I just woke up.
Fair enough. I'll give you that.
I haven't been on Twitter yet today.
An outlandish thing that probably won't happen, but I'll say it again and again. Mario Party Superstars DLC. Come on, Nintendo. I need more maps.
It's
Why
just
just
gonna
do
be-
a new game at this point?
Because they already
Yeah,
did
I
that
agree.
with Mario Party Superstar. They had Super Mario Party and didn't really do anything.
There are 4 Mario Party games on GameCube. Felix, I respect your want for DLC, but Nintendo's just they're gonna be like, yeah, we can make another one. And the developer's gonna be like, really? Do we have to? And they're gonna be like, yep, we can make another one. We already signed you up. You already signed the contract. But I could see Superstars 2. Would you be mad if it was Superstars 2?
There's not enough maps in Superstars. Otherwise, I'll love it. I absolutely
But what
love
if it's twice the maps?
I
'Cause
mean,
it's 2.
I love Superstars, so I would love to see it, but it's still like, it could just be DLC with new maps, and you know, that
So
would
you-
work, but yeah.
So you just want more. Like
I
you just want more.
Yes, and I'll
see,
be
okay.
screaming the day it happens.
Good. We better get that on camera. So this is a random one. But I've had this. So I have a list, like a Nintendo Direct's like predictions list, where I have like things written down. And this one's been sitting there for a long time. And so I don't think this is the year, but I would like it. I would like it to be this year. You know, for Mega Man, we have Mega Man 11, and then we have a bunch of like collections on Nintendo Switch where you can play like Mega Man X and Mega Man 0 and now Mega Man Battle Network. Well, Capcom has almost dried up the well entirely on that front. They've released almost everything except for a bunch of 3D Mega Man games. So much like how I predicted in the past a Capcom like 3D fighting edition with Power Stone and Rival Schools and stuff, I want to see like Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 and the demo that never came out for Mega Man Legends 3 from 3DS as like a bonus. I want that to get thrown in.
Mega Man Legends Arceus.
No, not that. That's not the collaboration I want. No. But there's a lot of weird stuff. There's some PSP games. There's a GameCube RPG. There's a GameCube like Battle Network game that plays like the original Mega Man or like the baseline Mega Man games. So there's a lot of fun I think they could have with like a Mega Man Legends collections or like a Mega Man 3D collection. So if not this year, next year at the very least. But I would 2024 is where I'm slotting it right now.
I don't know if it's just because I want to talk about it. Baldur's Gate on Switch.
Oh,
That's never gonna happen, Alex.
I mean, you say that 1 and 2 are already on Switch, you know.
Oh my gosh.
True, but
They're
Baldur's
not
Gate-
that much. They're not that much graphically worse, you know. It's yes.
I mean,
This,
I would love to talk about Baldur's Gate 3, because yeah, great.
well, maybe
great experience.
I haven't played it at all, and I know you guys have over the holiday. So why do you want it on Switch? Why should I care about this game? So what if it won a couple Game of the Year awards?
A couple. A couple.
Yeah.
I think it won every
It's-
game.
It won awards it wasn't even nominated for. It's just it's such a beautifully realized game with it's basically what I think a lot of people have wanted RPGs to be for the past 20 years, and it realizes it.
It feels like there's nothing else like it. To me, it's like when I played Breath of the Wild for the first time. It was just something outstanding, magical. It was like, wow, this is unlike anything I've ever played before. And Baldur's Gate is exactly that. It is insane, the attention to detail in the choices you can make. It really feels like you can make every choice, and the story is like planned out for you. You ask, what is it? Why should you care so much about the game? I was exactly like that before I played it. I didn't quite understand it. I had tried it out a bit, but I'm playing it with a friend. And that has just been a blast because we're like both experiencing this. We're making choices on our own. And I think you just need to try it out and you maybe play with someone because then you share the experience together. And one of the best experiences I had was after, the holiday period. Me and Alex talked about the game, and almost every single thing we talked about, we had done differently, which was just insane.
Really?
Yeah, let's not go into any specifics because of, spoilers and things like that.
No, but it's just to the extent that was so fun to talk with you about it.
That's cool.
And there were so many instances where it's like, oh, I did this, and you went, what? That happened? Where? And the same thing happened in reverse as well. And I still don't, you mentioned something. I have looked high and low. I don't know whether I've gone too far in the game, and it's like locked me out, but I can't find it, and I'm angry.
Well, I guess there's just, if you do certain stuff, then you can't do, or maybe if you pass through a certain section, I don't know. The game is
I think there is a degree of that, yeah. But I don't think, certainly for a successor, Baldur's Gate 3 makes tremendous sense and would probably make far more sense than the current Switch. But, I just, it randomly dropped on Xbox and they forgot to announce it. That was funny.
Well, I think there has to be conversations.
But at the same time, the current Switch, probably not. That's me just sort of trying to shoehorn it into conversation.
I'm glad we got to talk about it. Yeah, it's coming to the next Switch. That way, we were good to talk about it in this chat. That's our prediction.
I do like that as an early, a early Switch 2 title. If not like day one launch, like Persona 3 Reload. Maybe, it also becomes like a first quarter or something like that. Because you'd think at this point Nintendo's having talks with Larian, or Larian's knocking on their door at least.
I was thinking about something else, and I thought you just said was having talks with Larry.
Oh yeah, Larry. Everybody
Larry
knows
Butts.
Larry, right? Larry is the best guy in the industry. Everybody. He'll wake up you can call him at 3 a.m. and he will answer. He's just that kind of guy.
You might also kill someone with the thinker.
He's just that kind of guy. I only have one other game prediction.
Whoa there, Sunshine. Hold that thought, because it's time for the quickfire round.
Oh my god. Yes.
I've decided to throw it in at the last moment. So I'm going to ask you for one prediction from each of you. So get thinking, and it's going to be quick. So I'm just going to say a name. You're going to have to say it. Felix.
Guitar Hero.
Felix, you guessed that last year.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I checked.
We'll get a new Guitar Hero.
What? I literally I thought, let me think of something I've never thought, and I looked at my guitar and I was like, hell yeah, Guitar Hero. That is insane.
I mean, that was in the quickfire round last year.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, for real, Ryuji.
Oh
I went
my
back
God.
and I skimmed over it with captions last night, so my girlfriend wouldn't hear.
Base Hero. There we
Man,
go.
I missed that. I misheard that.
I like the bass. Mega Man and Bass Hero
I
collection?
thought you said Space Hero.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a different
Starfield.
game.
Starfield on Switch?
Oh my god.
Xeon.
That was not my prediction. This year marks the 25th anniversary of Mother/Earthbound in Japan. And so they did say that they have some things in the works, nothing game related. They didn't specify, but this year I would like to see, finally, there's a trilogy that releases. It's all claymation. It's from Grezzo. No voice acting, but it's in collaboration with the Mother 3 translation team. So that'll be, finally, we will have a way to play Mother 3. Alex!
Eternal Darkness. If they can get GoldenEye on Switch, I'm sure they can get Eternal Darkness. And just as a bonus, I'm going to do another one.
There was like a sequel in the works, but then it got canceled.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But no, I have a bonus, and it's been rumored, and loads of people have been talking about it everywhere. Nintendo Selects are going to come back, and probably under a different name.
Oh,
nice.
Because a load of SKUs have just like disappeared for like big
SKUs
games, including like
That's right, yeah.
yeah.
3
And so I think
Deluxe?
it's I've seen some people say, "Oh, are they going to release Nintendo Switch 2 versions?" And it's like, nah, mate. There's no point. But, Nintendo Selects, release it. Can you imagine £20 versions of things like Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
I actually can't imagine it. No.
Think harder. Since I did a second one, Felix, another one.
Okay, so
no,
I
Xeon.
mentioned-
In fact, Xeon.
Shoot.
Because I knew he wouldn't be ready.
Wii U backwards compatibility for some games where you can connect 2 Switches and you can play your favorite games with Wii U soft features, and Wind Waker is going to be the title that comes out that shows it off. I just
Wow.
looked down and saw my Wii U on the floor, so that's how that happened.
Where it belongs. No. Felix.
Okay, so I said before that I wanted to talk about something that was not a game, but I'd save it for later. So I think this is a brilliant way to cap it off. I
Damn it.
want a controller
They played me like a damn fiddle.
I want a controller akin to the PlayStation 5 controller, because there's so many games that I just, I want to play them on PlayStation 5 just because the controller is so awesome. I was playing God of
Really?
War Ragnarok here the other day, and you can just feel everything Kratos does when he sits down, when he pokes in the fire. You can feel it in the controller, and it just it's this whole other kind of immersion, because you can feel everything the game is doing, and it's the kind of thing that you need to try it out before you really understand how cool, or maybe I just think it's way cooler than it has any right to be. But if Nintendo could do something more like, we have HD Rumble, but have something even more impressive and have some
Like
analog
HD
trigger.
Rumble 2?
HD Rumble HD.
4K Rumble.
Yeah, there we go. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. And have some motors in the triggers so you can do cool stuff with that when you spit out vines in Mario Wonder
Whoa,
and
okay.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to the idea, but other developers would have to support it as well, because from what I understand, I don't have a PS5, but there aren't that many games that aren't, sort of at least partly Sony developed that really utilize the DualSense's capabilities.
True, but the cool thing about Nintendo is that they make a lot of their games themselves, so a lot of the
True.
games would use the controller's capabilities.
That's very true.
Hell yeah!
I do like the idea.
Can I request it has a better battery life though?
I actually
Ooh,
feel
good
it
point.
has a really good battery life, my Pro controller, but that might just be me.
No,
Oh,
I mean the DualSense. Doesn't it last like 8 hours?
Yeah, the DualSense isn't that great. So if they can get the same battery life of the Pro controller, but just make it even more futuristic, take inspiration from PlayStation, that would be nice.
Hall effect sticks.
Yes.
I mean, I do really hope that the Switch 2 is just Switch, but new cool things. I know I said that before, but this also
Yeah.
just like this adds on top of that kind of idea, and I like it. I like it. Just give us more fun ways to spend our money without destroying the experience, without making it worse.
Yeah. And without making this video worse, we should probably wrap it up so we don't ramble all too much.
Yay!
Thank you guys so much for helping me predict. I know we went on tangents, but that's the awesome part about these chats, that we get to talk about everything that just comes into our minds. And I had a blast. I hope you guys did as well. And now you know how Nintendo's 2024 will look. Everyone watching, this is the definitive list as always, and this is what's going to happen. You heard it here first. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you check out our website, nintendolife.com, for all sorts of Nintendo-related content. And yeah, Felix, Alex, and Sion from Nintendo Life, out.
Mother 4.